Hello and welcome to this year's monitoring process for the Title I Part D Subpart 2 program. This presentation will discuss the selected program requirement for Title I Part D Subpart 2. We will go over the documents that the LEA will need to participate in this process, as well as the items that TEA staff will review.
Before we begin, we would like to point out that documenting overall compliance for a program requirement may require several forms of documentation to be maintained locally and available upon request by TEA and/or an auditor. To ensure overall compliance with program requirements, LEAs should refer to the program guide and/or other program-related resources that reference the multiple forms of documentation required to be maintained locally. The documentation requested for submission during the random validation process may not include all forms of documentation that are required to be maintained locally.
Here we have the chosen program requirement for the upcoming monitoring process. The formal written agreement is a requirement that states that LEAs must have a formal written agreement with each local facility served under Title I, Part D, Subpart 2. This agreement addresses the program provided by the LEA as well as the responsibilities of the facility. In order to demonstrate compliance with this requirement, the LEA will submit a copy of one formal agreement that includes signatures of all involved parties, dates, timeframe of the agreement, a description of the LEA's responsibilities, a description of the facility's responsibilities, and, if applicable, a description of the program. Issues that may result in an improvement needed status include auditable documentation requested was not submitted, documentation submitted does not include all required signatures, documentation submitted does not indicate the parties involved, documentation submitted does not cover the year of documentation requested.
Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Program Director, Gerardo Ramirez, whose contact information is listed, or the Federal Program Compliance Division at the number and email listed.